would get out of here? 3 o'clock?
3 o'clock. They want us back downstairs.
That's terrible, because I have 5 hours of stuff.
Yes.
I'll just have to cut to the chase on this. Any more takers, Alicia?
I don't think so.
Okay. So, again, for you that were here yesterday, if you do not participate, we will be going into a PowerPoint presentation. So if we have to do that, don't say that I didn't warn you. So I guess let's start off by finding out who we have in the room. So we've probably done this already a dozen times at other groups, but starting back there, who are you? Guilt by association. and she said, come here and sit down. Don't leave without me. Okay.
I'm Glenn, I'm from the Vinyl Flooring Club.
And what would you like to get out of this today?
So
Other than early, you'd like to get out early.
No, I wanna learn basically, new ideas on how to recruit and to maintain membership. We've got a couple ideas and we're trying some new things. And so I just want to see if we're being as effective as what we can be.
Well, you also have, you've got Paul Summers in your club.
Paul Summers,
And
Chris
you've also Chris
Simonson.
Simonson. So you've got the benefit of people that have been around a while. So how long have you been in Rotary?
6 years.
Okay. We'll see if we can't come up with some new thoughts or anything. Bruce?
I'm Bruce Smith. I'm from the Logan Rotary Club,
Which one?
the Rotary Club of Logan, Utah.
The only one in Logan, then there's what, a
Cash
cash?
Rotary Club.
Okay, what time do you guys meet?
Pardon?
What time do you meet?
We meet at noon.
Okay, what would you like out of this today?
Well, I'm looking for unique ways to recruit members to the club.
Something that hasn't been tried before, or just
Well,
something?
maybe stuff that's been tried before, but I don't know about it.
Yeah, there you go. A lot of this is nothing, some of this is not gonna be new, so. Brett, who are you and why are you here? What would you like to learn today? We're doing the introductions.
How to keep from going in the hole on members.
How to keep from going in the holes on members, and you're the incoming president
For Salt Lake.
for Salt Lake City, okay?
You're not going in the hole for numbers, I'm pretty sure.
Boy,
Well, go negative.
Yeah, so here's the deal, the magnitude of the problems that we have actually fit each club. So for the smaller clubs, have smaller size problems, it's the same percentage though. So 250 member club might get 25 new members, and for the rest of you, that'd be great, but they just lost 24.
Yeah, what was it last year? We lost 60 and gained 50. Or
50.
Lost 54, gained 60.
Right, so this comes down to just maintaining membership. So if you can maintain who's come in the front door, it's a lot easier than beating the bushes and finding someone new.
I'm Katie Witt, and I'm in Kaysville Club. I'm kind of a transplant from Colorado, and I've been in Kaysville Club for a little over a year, and so I'm the president-elect.
Funny how that works, huh?
Yeah, it's my turn. They have had a hard time recruiting people to get into the club, and so I'm looking like everybody else.
So the Kaysville Club, I've got $250 for your club.
If what?
No, you guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll do it. So 99% sure it's your club. So the district historically has given awards for the club that have grown the most numerically and the club that's grown the most as a percent. 2 years ago,
That was me.
That was you.
That was me.
2 years ago, you guys did that, so I've got money to bring to your club as soon as I can get someone to return an email and I can schedule to
Yes.
come up. But that being said, also as far as membership loss during the year, they're number one on that too. So it's a retention thing. So I don't know if it's the entire sum that came in that have gone out, but it's
It's a worry.
yeah. So that's exactly why we're here. Vaughn.
Vaughn Park Provo Club, Assistant District Governor, past president.
Right, and what would you like?
I'd like to be stimulated to tune into your monthly. Is it monthly?
Yes.
That I get the email saying that I'm supposed to
Yeah,
attend this meeting?
Yeah, we're up and running. It's a Zoom platform now, so we've got that. And what we're trying to do is utilize the assistant governors as a clearinghouse of information. It does a number of things. One, it keeps the district from presupposing that we understand the dynamics of each of your clubs, because we don't. 49 clubs, we're not going to be able to get to know each of the clubs, but we will be able to know each of the AGs, and it will also force the AGs to go out and meet with the clubs and offer some assistance, and they can really get to know each of the clubs. So that's changed. So perfect. Jonathan?
Jonathan Wright, I'm for the Monticello Utah Club. I'm here just to see how we can retain members and gain new members.
Okay.
I'm kind of the membership chair. I've tried to get more people to come and buy their lunch, doing everything, and just have them come and listen in to the Riley kids after they've been to Riley. I've tried everything to get people to come to our meetings, and it's mostly finances, I think.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. The only two reasons that I've been presented with, so, okay.
Diane Wright, the Monticello Club, AG.
Perfect. That way we'll be working through the AGs on this whole thing, so that we're not trying to do something that's inappropriate or won't work with your club or whatever. So we've had two late arrivals. Rosemary, you were out sloughing, so you want to introduce yourself?
Rosemary Hollinger, I'm at Tula Valley Club, and I'm an AG.
Okay, I'm good to see this many AGs in here, and then
Elisa, I'm from the Rock Club, Rock Rotary.
Okay.
Army Assembly Club, whatever. So our biggest goal is to get in touch with Rotaractors that are finishing college and leaving, and letting them know that there's kind of an in-between place to go, and hoping that will spread.
so how many people in your club?
We have around 20 that
I mean, I
are,
should know this, but
yeah,
around 20. But you've added a few new members, yeah?
well, and that's our biggest problem, is working with the demographic of people in our club, because some graduate college and they're like, oh, I'm going to go to grad school, and then they get busy and they're like, oh, I don't have time, or they get married and have kids, and
Well,
you know, they're just in a different phase of life, and we need to just make Rotary meaningful enough that it's worth their time.
okay, so basically that, in the long and short of this entire meeting, is exactly what she said. So the Rotary that we have grown up with, well, I guess introduction-wise, Alicia, let's finish this.
I am Alicia Gomez, child member of the Hispano-Latino Rotary Club 10 years ago. And I am born with this.
Okay, so before I introduce myself, I'll give you a little snapshot of how membership is sort of organized finally in the district. So I looked in the bag that I got 9 months ago, and I'm like, oh great, what is this? I thought it was something exciting, pulled it out, and it's like membership chair. I'm like, okay, I can do this. So as soon as I got membership chair, which was a past district governor doing that with another past district governor on the committee, within a month of getting that, a guy in Logan, Dale Mildenberger, a little under the weather, so he was left the committee. Another person took a church assignment. The lieutenant governor over membership was so afraid of working with me, he moved. Well, maybe that wasn't the case. But Steve left town, Steve Roll. Another person left the state, so within no time, it was me, and I'm like, okay, maybe one other person. I'm like, this is not going to work. So I asked Sean if we could enlist the help of the AGs. So historically, when I was an AG, all I did, this is problematic I didn't take any ownership of that, but the expectations were to introduce the district governor when he comes to clubs. So I did that dutifully. I introduced, a district governor for a couple of years, but nothing more than that. What's changed is Bev has a significantly higher expectation of the AGs, and they finally recognized that probably the most important thing that's been missing in the district is utilizing the AGs to clear information from the district to the club, reflecting club things back so that we're more adequately dealing with some of the issues. So now all the AGs are part of the membership committee, which really is going to help out tremendously. And then Alicia is part of the membership as kind of a community outreach type of a position that we've never had. She's got unique background and unique connections with the Latino community, and they're doing things differently than typical Rotary clubs, and we're looking for her help and wisdom on how to also reach out and be a little more, maybe not sensitive, but open our minds a little bit to different points of view. So that's the organization. Actually, I missed this. So how long have you been a Rotarian? Let's do this really quick.
Since
Rosemary.
05.
Okay, how long have you been a Rotarian?
3 years.
Okay.
This summer. Almost.
Clint, you said what, 5 years? 6? Bruce?
Forever.
Forever and 3 days, huh?
I've been a Rotarian since about 1980.
Okay. Brett?
16 years.
Okay.
8.
8? Vaughn?
I joined in 1982, 37 years.
Well, good. You guys should be telling us about this then.
8 years.
8? 8? And you said?
Oscar,
Okay. So I joined Rotary, I'm gonna say 16 years ago, something like that, 16, 17 years ago. I'm in the Park City Sunrise Club. Joined the club, and within 2 years or 3 years, I was club president. So typically, they're throwing you under the bus pretty quickly. Had no one in, past presidents before me in the club, so I didn't know what I was doing. Did make it to a little bit of training. Our club was instrumental in bringing RILA to the state, so I was a facilitator there. I think a number of us have crossed paths there. A facilitator, trainer, co-chair, and then I chaired RILA for a year or so. And then I thought that I was done with district stuff. I faded to the back, and it was a pretty comfortable existence until a couple of years ago. And Dwayne Woolley, which many of you know, gave my name to someone and ended up being AG for a couple of years and now membership. So that's sort of the progression of things. How many of your clubs have, well, let's talk just even net. Who's up membership this year? How many of you got? A couple?
We've
Or?
got 2,
Okay,
more than we had last year.
that's good.
So far, I think we're up net 1, but that's going to be changing in about a month or so. We should be up net about 13.
13. How many of you were here yesterday? So what I'm saying about the membership, so it's not an upside conversation we're having. We're down about 37, 38 people this year. So for conversation, we've got 1,800 plus or minus in the district, and we're down this year. So it's a big deal. You'll see in a couple of weeks that we'll announce that Kanab is a satellite club, and they'll bring 14 members. So we're making a little bit of progress that way, but we're down. So why are we down? What is it? Why are we not appealing to? And this goes back to what you were saying. Why are we not appealing to younger people? Why are we not appealing to the populace in general?
Well, I think I've been doing RLI, and we talked about younger people and the younger demographic. And one of the things we learned is that younger people like to save the world in their own way, you know, on their own timetable, you know, and kind of more one and done type of deal instead of an ongoing, and we meet at this time, and this is
And these
a
are the
more
formalities,
structured-
and this is what we
right,
do, and this
right.
is,
Yeah.
okay. Brett, you had a thought?
Yeah, I can probably share, I mean, as you said, every club has its own issues, every size club has its own issues. I had the good fortune to go to the large club conference, which I didn't even know existed prior.
Right.
But every year our executive and the president-elect goes. And there are clubs like ours who, you know, in our heyday, we were 500 and we're at 250, 249 as of yesterday. And there's other ones that are incredibly successful. And Birmingham's #1 right now with like 680 some odd.
So what did you see as initiatives that make them
So
successful?
all of the ones, without exception, all of the ones that are thriving, and it didn't matter if they were, you know, around our size and they'd come from 100 and they were doubling and tripling, all the way up to the biggest ones. They all had to do a rethink and say, how can we be relevant in our community? And in the past president's panel, the one statement from one of them that was most impactful was that they came to the decision that they had to stop making fingerprints in their community and start making footprints. And by that, what they meant is that all these large clubs that are really, you know, have grown in membership have done an outreach to become relevant again. So they've gone to community leaders and city and counties and said, what do you need? Not what have we always done,
Right.
but what do you need? And then in the process, it wasn't. They've all said it wasn't easy in their clubs, but they had to say, what have we always done that maybe isn't so relevant anymore, and what does our community really need? And then they went and partnered with the affluent people and the foundations and the city, where they're already putting money, but they need to partner with an organization for the efforts. I don't know how that translates. I don't know. For us, it's going to be a big initiative over the next couple of years. So, you know, you'll find out if it's going to work or not. I don't know if we can pull it off. I don't know how it translates into different club sizes.
Well, at least you're doing something different. So, you know, instead of doing the same thing over and over and expecting change, at least you're going to try something different and see if that works. As you saw the presentation that Greg Pod had, so what are the two biggest reasons people are in Rotary or stay in Rotary? Service, community service was what, 38%? And fellowship, so another 33%. So if nothing else, be friendly, make your club a place of fellowship, and do community service. Right there, you're 3/4 of the way for the reasons people are staying in Rotary. Yeah.
I kind of watched lately, and not to put Rock Rotary on the spot, but our daughter joined it for a while. I don't know if you were in it. Anyway, she was in, I don't know, several months, and she finally said, you know, I don't fit. They've been together so long. They know, I mean, they're all good friends. They know what they're talking about. I feel like an outsider. I'm quitting. And she did, you know, and I was like, well, just give it a little more time. She said, well, you know, I'm busy anyway, because she was starting, maybe starting a business or whatever, and,
right.
you know, and doing her profession and that. And she said, maybe I'll wait a while and try it. And I thought, you know what, I've got to look at our club or these other clubs. Are we too cliquey in our clubs?
Absolutely. So Rock,
Because when you've been in for a long time, you use certain language, your new members have no clue what you're
Absolutely.
talking about. So I think that's one of
no,
our
that's
big
exactly
problems.
it. So
Is they drop out.
That's kind of been an ongoing problem,
Yeah.
because,
And it's not just your club,
No.
it's our club.
But
too.
So their problem's only a
we
few years
have-
old because they're not that old
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
club.
a good portion
Except
that
that they were all
were,
Rotaract.
yeah, they were Rotaract together. And
So
we're family, and so we have that connection. And so it's very noticeable, the ones that don't fit in. And so that's what we've noticed. We have a lot of young people that are eager to serve and eager to come, but they're not consistent because they don't feel that camaraderie that all the
Right.
rest of them do.
So,
And I think that's not just young folks. I
no,
think
it's not. That's
many
your
of
specific
our-
thing with
our-
the Rotaract things, but you can look in each of our other clubs. So how many of our clubs do you see the members walk in, they talk to the same people, they sit at the same
Sit by-
table, they,
Yeah.
you haven't seen heads go up and down? Yeah, that's part of the problem. I mean, and it's not, like I say, yours is a relatively new problem, but every single one of our Rotary clubs, if we're not cognizant of that. I've heard stories of people going to Rotary clubs for makeups, and no one's greeting them. We talked about this. No one's greeting them, no one's saying hello. Go to sit down and someone says, "You're sitting in my seat? Are you kidding me?" I mean, are you kidding me? So, right there's no fellowship. There's no, something's missing if that's the case. So, you mentioned one of the reasons why people don't join or stay in Rotary. The only two reasons that I've seen presented over and over, and this was presented in a public PI meeting, so what Linda's teaching, the only two reasons that people aren't in Rotary are, you said, financial. So that is a real issue, especially if we want some of the younger people to get in Rotary. What are we going to do to be flexible enough with their schedule? Because when you're just starting your career, you're going to tell, fill in the blank, whoever your boss is, that I'm going to need to be leaving in the middle of the day for essentially 2 hours every single week. So that's an issue. And in some of the clubs, the dues are pretty expensive because the food's pretty expensive. So again, we're going to have to look at the flexibility. I don't know what the most expensive membership is in the district. It may be Salt Lake.
Yeah, we're 146,
How much?
146, but that includes lunches.
That's month or?
A month.
Okay, so that adds up pretty quickly. So for a younger professional, that's going to be, when I say professional, I mean that's a ubiquitous term. When I say a younger person, it doesn't matter if you're a quote professional or if you're a mechanic or if you're a whatever. I mean, I'm just for a younger person. Yes.
Just from when we started, I don't know if this will help any of you, but the biggest things that we had a problem with deciding if we're going to join Rotary is a weekly meeting, because a lot of us would rather go out and do something than sit and talk about doing something. And I think that could be a deterrent when we invite someone to a meeting and they're like, oh, well, this is great, you know, that you're talking about it.
Killing me.
Yeah, and so they're like, well, this isn't really worth my time to just come and talk about doing good. And so our goal is to have at least a service project or more a month.
Right.
And then we have a social quarterly. And just to have more interaction, because the meetings are kind of like our payment for Rotary. Like
Right.
we
You're
come
paying
and
your
we-
dues. I'm sitting in here and paying it. Kind of like going to a membership thing, right? Yeah,
Exactly.
you're paying your dues. So,
And I think that could be one of the reasons why we lose people, is because they don't see the service, and these people are ready to go out and do, and they want to be hands-on, they want to make a difference, they don't want to just talk about it and plan it.
So this goes back to what? So there are fundamental differences generationally between all of us and our expectations. And if we want to grow this, thank you for coming to this meeting, because this is exactly what the rest of us have to hear. It's not rocket science. This is nothing like, I've never considered that. But it's the flexibility. So the Council of Legislation in 2016 granted more flexibility on attendance and also membership types. So that whole initiative, I think, is to start allowing the type of flexibility that people need. In the Park City Sunrise Club that I'm a member of, we started doing this 16 years ago, because everyone in town, they travel. We have people in town, they're out of town, they're here, they're there. So the membership thing was really a big deal. If we, and I know clubs that have done this, I've heard this story, well, you've missed too many meetings, we're going to have to ask you to leave Rotary.
That was old RI rules.
It was.
When I joined, that was the rule, you know. You had to have at least
75%,
They
or
were
you're
worse
out.
than church.
Right, right. Could you imagine if that were the case now? Well, it would make the slow death quicker. But we unofficially colored outside of the lines for 15 years because there's no way we would have been able to attract anyone or keep anyone if we had to do it specifically as Rotary defined it. So the flexibility is a big deal. You mentioned another thing, socials. How many of your clubs have socials? How many of the socials that you have you really look forward to going to and don't look at it like paying the price for being in Rotary? I love going to mine. We've got one tonight. Absolutely love it. We've been through this now. This is our third one today. This membership thing really should be changed to relationships. So all we're building right now is relationships. So if you want to have a club that is viable and growing and not losing members, you need to work on your relationships with the club members. That's all this is, Rotary, and then service will come out of that. So however you connect with the members of your club or engage the members of your club, it's a big deal in our club. The socials, so we're forming the friendships, and out of the friendships come the service. It's also easy when you walk into a group of people to see whether or not they genuinely like each other and there's energy about them or not. So this is all about relationships. In your clubs, with the members that are inactive and you don't see them, or you have an outreach program, does someone call people? To look in, you know, we've got a couple members of our club that we're going to lose, and are we calling them up going, hey, why aren't you at Rotary today, or we missed you, and are things okay? Do you have a family of Rotary person, someone in your club? Do you know what I mean by family of Rotary? That makes sense? We've got a person in our club that consistently asks, where is so-and-so? Well, so-and-so had surgery, they had this, they had that. So we're consistently sending out maybe flowers, it may be a card, it may be a phone call. But that's another way to let people know that you care about them and that they matter in your club. We've had a club president with the view before that, well, this is great. Our biggest fundraisers of the year, we make more money out of people that don't show up to our meetings because we charge them for lunches. And I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me. And he was like, no, this is, and I'm like, okay, so this is gonna work for a month or two, but the people that aren't showing up are going to leave. But they didn't put two and two together and figure out that this was a problem. So, what do you do to manage people's expectations in your club? So when people come into your club, do you have an orientation? Do you have a fireside? How does that work? How does that work in your club, Rosemary?
We have a new member orientation, or we don't do it monthly. We wait and we'll get, once we have like 2 or 3 new members, then we have a night meeting and we invite their families and we have them stand up. We give them their packet and their pen and, welcome them and have them tell about themselves. But we do it at night, invite their family.
When we have a new person to go to our club, Oscar usually is the person that knows more about the Rotary, and he talk about some topic. All meetings, the foundation, membership, wherever, each meeting. And since the people coming to the club, they know more. And usually you learn every time and new things. It doesn't matter if you hear 3 times, 4 times, you always learn.
Something a little bit new. So yours is, it's not just an orientation? but
Not really, but it's like every meeting he talk about some Rotary topic. It's like a Rotary moment or something.
Okay. Yes.
We kind of have a 3 strikes you're in type thing.
Haven't heard of that? What?
Where we have, so if potential new members, once they've come 3 times in a row
Right.
with a sponsor, that's when, like right before the 3rd meeting, they're asked to come in a little bit early. And we have 2 or 3 people give them an orientation, basically saying this is what Rotary is, this is the expectations that we have of you as a Rotarian, this is how you can help our club type thing.
So you manage it before they even put in an application?
Yep. So
Okay.
we want them there 3 times before we apply for them. And so the first 2, they come then right before their 3rd is, okay, here's your orientation. Welcome for your 3rd time, but after this, it's you're in or you're out.
Right. So by the time that happens, though, you've given them an idea of what the expectations are. Anyone? Yes.
So when I first joined Rotary, the Longmont Rotary Club was quite large that I joined in Colorado.
Okay.
Had over 100 members showing up every week. First of all, I was asked to join by an influential person in the community who said this would be really good for you, and so I was recruited, but I was a Rotary Exchange student, so I was already sold. But so in this very large club, I had to go to orientation, and then once they let me in, I was a blue badger for a while, so I had to wear a blue badge until I served as a greeter and attendant and selling tickets and and sat at every table. I had to sit at every table before.
And do a makeup meeting somewhere else?
Yes, before I could get my red badge. And then they had a ceremony when I got my red badge. And then, so I moved here to Utah. I had to hunt down where the Kaysville Club met, and I couldn't find anybody, and I finally showed up, and it's a small club, and they're like, okay.
All right, you're in. Your chair's over there, and your name again.
Yeah, and okay, which was great, but then I was just pretty much dropped, right?
Well, you're a member. Why are we doing anything
Right.
else? You're in the
and
door.
And then I was dropped, and had I not already had several years of service and going to Rotary and seeing the value of Rotary, I would have left.
You've been like, I'm out.
Yeah, and so I'm still kind of an outsider, right? So I come into this new club, and I'm president-elect, but making changes for this core group of people who've been members for quite some time. Then I come in from the outside saying, okay.
I don't want to rain on your parade either, so
Yeah.
they're exhibiting all the tendencies of being female too. So this could also be. So no, that's exactly it. People are. If you didn't have the background going, okay, this is just one of those awkward Rotary things. I got the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So how did that program work, though? Do you think in Colorado, where they went through all that?
Actually, I was very proud of my blue badge for a long time. I was trying to, because our club was so big that as long as you're under the radar and you're not official, then you don't have to do the hardcore stuff. And so I was happy being a blue badger, but they eventually caught up with me after about a year.
Eventually, they've got this whole thing figured out.
Yeah, but it worked really well. And they had dedicated membership committee, right, who made sure you understood, and they made sure that I had a job, and they made sure that I was, showing up, and so.
So thank you for showing up today, because everything she's saying here is exactly what should be going on. Does my club do that? No. Should they? Yes. But no, that's exactly what should be happening where you're managing expectations. So by the time you were done with that program, you knew how many people in the club, you knew how it functioned.
I knew most of them, and I loved them, and that's the thing. is that I grew to love those people because I worked with them and, and okay, I'll let go of my blue badge because I love these people, right?
So as I said, how many of you were here yesterday? Okay. As I said yesterday, I found my tribe. I mean, these are the people that I look to as a reference group. As Sean said, he goes, his dad said to him that show me your friends, I'll show you who you're at. Statistically speaking, and you can read articles on this, you are the combination of the 5 people you spend the most time around. So why am I in Rotary? Because you guys are dragging me along. It's my affiliation with you. So how many people in here want to do good in the, well, except maybe, us back there. How many want to do good in the world? Everyone here. So it's also self-serving for me to be in Rotary because you guys, my conversations with you and interactions make me a better person. And part of it is how do we get that message out to other people? So,
Yeah.
I don't know. But the program you're talking about there manages people's expectations of what you expect from them. What we're trying to do also in the district is I'm trying to collect information on each club so we know what it costs in every club. Because a lot of this stuff, if you're not, here, make this easy. If you're not managing their expectations on costs, some of this stuff starts adding up and becoming uncomfortable. So you need to be upfront of what the expectations are cost-wise, participation in the club, and make sure that fits as well.
Is there any feel about what percentage of the Rotarians are paying their own way versus their company paying their way?
You know what? That'd be a good piece of data to have as well. So I don't know that answer, but that's certainly part of the puzzle. So, yeah.
Is there an initiation fee to the district for new members?
Oh.
Sometimes clubs charge them.
Clubs, like-
Some clubs do, ours doesn't.
Ours dropped it.
So, no, and
What the clubs present, when you talk about this initiation fee? Do you just become a member and you get maybe your name badge? But see, the Provo Club gives them a 4-way test plaque and a Rotary plaque that says you're a member of
so
Rotary.
there's actual
So-
cost
So
involved.
we have actual costs, so we charge an initiation fee.
Okay.
How much do you charge?
Just enough to cover those costs of those plaques. I think they're $25 a plaque or something.
Well, and that could be.
So it's $50.
Well, and that could be a beautiful way to also initiate people. Here's your 4-way test. What does this mean? So it's a way to initiate them to the thought process. So I had never heard exactly what the initiation fee might cover. Yeah.
Well, I have a thought. My main concern I mentioned to you earlier was recruiting new members.
Okay.
And I wonder if anybody has ever embarked upon a plan to have a membership committee make a visit to key businesses in the community, to the CEO, whoever, and say, we need to have your company represented in Rotary. Can you do it, or can you have somebody do it? And will you pay the fare?
Perfect.
Does anybody do that?
Yeah.
We've done that in Mount Timotaugus. Pleasant Grove is our meeting place, and doTERRA's international headquarters is there. And so we have targeted 3 or 4 different businesses like Testo, doTERRA, and said, we want somebody from your company.
And how did that work out?
Have you had success with it?
We haven't had success yet. We're working with them. We actually have been a little disappointed at how non-responsive they've been, but we think that we're going to get there with that effort. But that's the exact goal we have.
Yeah.
Have you had a Days for Girls event? Because they're all about Days for Girls.
Is that right?
Yes, they
Is
are.
that fair?
Yeah.
That's good to know. Well,
Write that down.
Yeah.
Clinton.
And that's our grant we're working on. I'm working on that global grant.
Yes, we talked about that.
What we've done is we've been pretty successful with banks and with credit unions. Having like we have the University of Utah Credit Union. There's a branch in Bountiful, and they send a representative from them. Also like Deseret First Credit Union says they're representatives. We've got like 3 or 4 credit unions and banks represented, and then it's also really nice for when we have our big fundraiser, we can kind of count on them.
Did you ever go out to visit us in your geographic area and say, we're from Rotary, we need to have your company represented in Rotary?
Yeah, that's how we do it. We go to the bank, and we talk to the bank president, and we say, you know, we're with the Rotary Club, and we need to have someone from your.
Which works if they know what Rotary is. So this is the first year we've had public image presented here. And the biggest thing for membership, all this stuff, Bruce, you wouldn't have to be going out to talk to them if we would have done our job historically in public image. The community would know exactly who Rotary is. They would know exactly what the benefit is of their membership, so it would be less of a cold approach to them.
That's a benefit of Bountiful, is everybody knows.
There's a couple of, well, you've got the benefit of a past district governor there, and also a
Right.
pretty big coach
But,
for.
yeah, our coach for kids.
So your approach isn't cold
calling.
calling,
No.
yours is already warmed up, but I think that's part of it, Bruce. Yeah.
And also, I would expand your go-to list to include people in government. You want your city manager, you want your chief of police, you want your public works director. These are people who are gonna know opportunities in the community, and they need you. They need us, they need Rotary clubs, because there's things that need to get done in the community that they just don't have the capacity to take care of. And yes, we have scouts, but sometimes it takes grown-ups, right? So I would expand from not just businesses, but also they're very helpful. Government
Well,
folks are
they
very
also
helpful.
have purse strings there that
That's right.
can say, yes, we'll have our public works person. Yes.
Another, or one that I approached at every Rotary Club is the school district.
Yes.
Because, well, and I knew the district, what do you call them, district president, administrator, whatever she
Yeah,
was over the whole district. Superintendent, yeah, and I knew her personally, and I went there and I said, you know, we're giving these dictionaries to every 3rd grader in your district. We need somebody from the school in our Rotary, you need to be represented. And I said, can you come? No, but I'll pay for somebody to come.
Well,
And she did.
So
Yeah.
it's the same thing with sending kids to Riley. You go to the schools and you're getting the kids out of the schools, you're starting interact clubs. Yeah, they've got some vested interest, so
Yeah,
that's,
so make your school.
we've got the school district involved. Yes, Brett.
I'll offer this as on a couple of conditions, that it's used for Rotary and not personal use.
Okay.
And that it's just your immediate zip codes. So I have access to an online database that I can pretty quickly filter C-level people. So CEO, CIO, CTO, CFO, and I can extract that, and it'll give you all the information and tell you stuff about them. And if you email me, I will run the list and email you the list.
You know, that's a,
What now, you run a list
For C-suite, C-level executives.
for my geographic area?
Yep, just send me the zip codes.
let's talk a little bit more about that. I've never heard of that.
I don't pay for it, it's extremely expensive, and I have access to it. And it's real-time updated and flags me for news about each individual.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Let's follow up on that conversation, because what you're talking about there are the people that do control the purse strings. Maybe
Yeah.
they won't be able to do it, but for instance, Logan's got a ton of different businesses up there that they should have a lot of opportunity. So there should be a lot of opportunity for that. So also, back to what you were saying, so what's made our club kind of work up in the Park City area? So we've got the county manager, the city manager, we've got the sheriff, the fire chief, we've got elected officials, county council, city council. But what that also does is exactly what you're saying. There's a lot of things that go on in the community that they can't get to work, they can't get feet on the ground, and they need the Rotary Club's involvement. And it's also, what's great about that for city folks and for law enforcement and for anyone else, we come vetted. So each one of us, the Rotarians, it's a pretty good guess that when you're involving the Rotary Club, that it's already vetted to a certain extent, and they're tickled to death to get the help in the community. So we've got about, well, Art was going 10 minutes. This presentation is going to be available online, and thank you for not having me to resort to powering through this. There's a couple things here. On this presentation, these will be all live links, so you'll have links to new member recruitment tools and that are available for from the Rotary website. So, how many of you are going to set up a My Rotary account? Everyone. I gave a presentation on that a couple of years ago, and at the time, did I have a My Rotary account? Nope. Here's your presentation. This is a big deal, so set up your My Rotary account and use the resources on the website. Nothing that's come out of my mouth is unique to our problems here. This is Rotary problems. All of these resources are available to you. So this will be available on the website. You won't even have to go power through the Rotary website to find all these. These are all links. So that's new member recruiting. You'll see also on there, Be a Vibrant Club. You've seen that handout here. If you do nothing else, set up a My Rotary account and read that pamphlet. If you do nothing else. And the same thing for membership retention. There are links here on membership assessment tools, strategic plan. Who has strategic plans in their Rotary Club? Ours doesn't. Should we? Yep. I would guess the Salt Lake City Club does. But all these are available, and again, Be a Vibrant Club. This isn't rocket science, it's just managing relationships. So try to put yourself in other people's shoes and see what it is that you can do to attract them. Any other questions in the couple minutes we've got left? Or better yet, any answers? Jonathan, you got answers?
No, but and this is, probably shouldn't even be brought up, but I belonged to the Elks Lodge for about 45 years.
Yeah.
I'm a Mason, I'm a Shriner for over 20 on both of those, and a Rotary. And every one of those clubs I belong to are going down, everybody. The Shriners now are letting the associate Shriners come in there. Because all the old people I was one of the youngest people in our Shrine Club in Texas. I'm 71 here in a week, but that's 5 years ago.
So
All these service groups, I hate to say it, but they're all just, something's going
they're not
wrong.
changing fast
They're all
enough
going
to
down.
be relevant to. So that's it. We've got to be flexible. We've got to be changing and looking to. Yeah, please.
Can I just put in a little plug? Because we're a satellite of Murray,
Right.
and it has turned into a really great partnership because they've been able to provide the money and we provide the energy.
And the youth, yeah.
And we've been able to, they're supportive with all of our projects. We attend their projects, they attend ours, and they just, probably the beginning of this calendar year, said, hey, we want to set up a monthly service project with you guys. And so far we have a monthly service project where both of our clubs work together. Then we have like an annual social in the summer to introduce the new board members of each club together. And I mean, it's an idea because it might not be attractive to the younger people to join a regular Rotary group, but it's an idea for you to kind of have your own satellite, especially if you're in a college town.
Right, and that could be a Logan thing.
To
satellite.
invite Rotaractors or, tell people to tell their kids that are from to just invite them to teach about Rotary and to kind of mentor their group, because it's been a great relationship between us.
Well, yes, Clint.
So in our club, we were toying with the idea whether or not to open up a satellite club as well. And what we've decided to do is, instead of a satellite club, we're going to have 2 additional meetings held at night and also 2 different membership levels. And so if you only attend at night, your expectations are a little bit different, your dues are different than if you attend during lunch, but we're still the same club.
Yeah, and that, again, that's a flexibility on meeting times and flexibility on cost, and we're seeing that in other clubs as well. But this has only started since 2016, when the official Rotary rules have changed. So again, it's flexibility, it's doing something new, and that's exactly the type of thing that needs to be done. Vaughn?
You're gonna follow up with his resource and let that information out to us, or do I just get his
You
email?
just don't email the whole district.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't have time.
So you talk with Brett right now to get that rolling. I'm gonna talk with Brett and maybe the district governor, so we don't abuse the whole thing, but what he's saying there is a humongous resource for everyone. That's a big deal. So Brett and I will follow up on that, but in the meantime, if you want to talk with him, yeah, we don't want to overwhelm you, but that's crazy. Anything else in the 2 minutes?
Yes, I would like to say something about the Rock Club, because I was the assistant governor for Murray Club when we started. It's an amazing club. They are amazing kids, and some of the Rock Clubs, they are members of our Hispano-Latino Rotary Club now. But they are amazing. They put the energy in the Murray Club they really need.
Well, that we all need. So thank you.